Welcome. This is Janisar Ahmed with the daily roundup of news from the US and around the world. First are the headlines. CEOs snag delays, grand old parties, tax freeze. Amtrak in Washington train derailment reported that it was traveling at 80 miles per hour in 30 miles per hour. Asian Development Bank vows to continue providing assistance to Pakistan. Danish robot makers entered the Bangladesh industry. Gujarat poll results, they have been seen as a shock for the BJP by Rahul Gandhi. Uber is considered to be a danger to public safety according to a union. And now the details. Procedure snag delays GOP tax victory. Republicans in Congress appeared set to pass their tax overhaul as soon as Tuesday evening. Now they will have to wait at least one more day. The bill hit a snag Tuesday afternoon when the Senate parliamentarians ruled that two provisions would have to be removed from the bill. One provision at issue would also familiarize the use of education saving accounts, often called 529 accounts, to pay for K-12 private schools and homeschooling expenses. The other exempts private colleges and universities with fewer than 500 tuition-paying students from paying a new tax being imposed on their endowments. Both provisions have been found to be in violation of the Byrd Rule, which governs the types of legislation that can be passed under reconciliation. Reconciliation is the process that allows bills to pass the Senate with 51 votes instead of the standard 60 votes. In part, the Byrd Rules says that provisions cannot contain extraneous matter that doesn't pertain to the budget. The Senate is still set to debate the bill and vote Tuesday evening. The House will reconvene Wednesday morning and is set to vote again on the House. It was passed the bill version of the Republicans' 1.5 trillion tax overhaul on Tuesday afternoon. That vote for largely fell along party lines. 12 House Republicans voted against the bill. The Senate bill also appears likely to be passed largely along party lines. No Democrats voted for the bill in either the House or Senate initial votes, and the bill did not undergo any major changes in conference committee, where the differences between the House and Senate versions were reconciled. Just before the vote, House Speaker Paul Ryan, Republican from Wisconsin, spoke, casting the bill as a long-awaited conservative victory that would benefit American workers. My colleagues, this is a day I have looked forward to for a very long time, he said. We are about to achieve some big things that the cynics have scoffed at for years, decades even, as he and other Republicans have done for months while promoting the plan. He likewise framed the bill as being beneficial to workers and families. This is a real relief for families out there living paycheck to paycheck, struggling to make ends meet, he later added. However, House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi castigated the Republicans for a bill that she said would particularly benefit the already wealthy. In this holy time, the moral obscenity and unrepentant greed of the GOP tax scam stands out even more clearly, she said. An Amtrak train derailment. It was reported that it was traveling at 80 miles per hour in a 30 miles per hour zone. The National Transportation Safety Board says an Amtrak passenger train that derailed from an overpass south of Tacoma, Washington, leaving 3 people there, was traveling at 80 miles per hour in a 30 miles per hour zone. At a news conference late Monday Pacific time, NTSB board members said that the speed of the train at the time of the accident had been determined by downloading the event data recorded from the train's rear locomotive. Trains 501 of the Amtrak Cascade services from the Seattle to Portland, Oregon was on its main run of a faster speed service when it careened off the track at a curve at DuPont on Monday. 13 of the train's 14 cars came off the tracks. On Thursday, the Pierce Transit Authority identified one of the 3 victims as its employees. The agency, which oversees public transportation for much of the country, where the crash occurred, noted that the IT customer service specialist had been with them since 2008. He had always been deeply appreciated and admired by his colleagues and played an important role at our agency. The agency said in a statement, "He will be sincerely missed." Jim Ham also died in the crash, Oregon Public Broadcasting has confirmed. In addition to the 3 people killed in the accident, dozens of people, train passengers, crew, and those in vehicles on the ground were injured. Washington State Patrol spokesman Dan Hell added. 10 of those hurt were in serious condition, 4 had moderate injuries, and another 9 suffered minor injuries, he said. Asked whether the NTSB had any theories as to why the train was traveling so fast in the 30 miles per hour track zone, he added, "It's too early to tell." He said one of the questions that investigators hoped to answer in the interviews with the crew was whether the engineer was aware of the speed limit in the corridor where the accident occurred. Dinsrar said the NTSB was checking to see whether the positive train control or the PTC was installed on the stretch of track in question. PTC is a system designed to automatically stop a train in certain dangerous situations. As NPR's reporter and another reported on Monday, it was the first time that the train had piled a new direction and faster route on tracks known as the Point Defiance Bypass, which are owned by the Sound Transit Agency. The Washington State Department of Transportation says the Federal Railroad Administration funded and reviewed recent upgrades to the tracks. The new route eliminates the speed-sapping corners and tunnels on the more scenic routes that run along the avenue where the accident occurred. In total, the project's budget was nearly $181 million and had been in the works for about a decade, according to Will Menders James of the member station within the department. The Washington State Department of Transportation had billed the service as a more frequent, more reliable, and faster Amtrak Cascade services. But some local officials were skeptical of the new service, questioning whether the train would be safer at higher speeds. Earlier this month, the mayor of Lakewood, a suburb of Tacoma, predicted a deadly accident. Mayor Don Anderson said the addition of grade separation, such as overpasses, to keep trains, cars, and pedestrians separated was needed. Come back when there is the accident and try to justify not putting in those safety enhancements, or you can go back now and advocate for the money to do it, because this project was never needed and endangers our citizens, Anderson was quoted by a news agency. Last month, the NTSB issued a report saying Amtrak had a deficient safety culture. Amtrak's safety culture is falling apart and is primed to fail again until and unless Amtrak changes the way it practices safety management. NTSB Chairman Robert Sumwell said in a statement on November 14th. On May 12, 2015, an Amtrak Northeast Regional train derailed in Philadelphia, killing at least 7 people and injuring more than 200 passengers. A year later, NTSB concluded that a distracted engineer was to blame. ADB vows to continue providing assistance to Pakistan. Asian Development Bank Country Director Lianjong Yang on Tuesday assured Prime Minister Shahid Khaqan Abbasi that the bank will continue providing financial and technical assistance to the country, Radio Pakistan reported. ADB Country Director assured future cooperation in all areas, including energy and gas sectors. According to the report, she appreciated the country's progress in the energy sector. She said, the improvement in the power sector has not only brought relief to domestic consumers, but also leading to growth in large-scale manufacturing. The Prime Minister on this occasion thanked the ADB for continued support to infrastructure projects and expressed optimism that the relationship will grow further as Pakistan enters high economic growth. Danish robot makers enters the Bangladesh tech industry. Universal Robotics, the leading manufacturer of advanced and lightweight collaborative robotics arms, started its operations in Bangladesh yesterday. The collaborative robot is a powerful innovation in the industrial manufacturing sector, enabling automated production with unprecedented flexibility, said Pradeep David, general manager for South Asia at Universal Robots. He spoke at the launch of the company at the Westin Dhaka yesterday. Our collaborative robot arms automative and streamline repetitive industrial processes, they have said. The approach will enable production departments to assign more creative jobs to their staff members that will increase efficiency, productivity, and add value to companies, he added. The company's Latest collaboration was with SME in India in January this year, which has seen a 300% boost in production over a brief period of 8 months, according to a statement of Universal Robots. After successfully venturing into the Indian and Sri Lankan markets, we are looking forward to setting up and growing in Bangladesh, as the country can provide us with enormous opportunities to develop, said David. Bangladesh employs over 3 million people in the manufacturing industry, so the introduction of collaborative robots will help boost industrial production, said the company headquartered in Odense of Denmark. Collaborative robots, or the cobots, are lightweight and easy-to-use robotic arms which were developed by the Universal Robots in 2008. Its latest technological advancement is in sync with Industry 4.0, which is called the automated revolution in the manufacturing industry. Robots are easy to program, install, and their collaborative nature allows them to work side by side with the workshop for high-quality output. No special training is required to handle them, the company said. The primary goal of Universal Robots is to empower workers by equipping them with smart manufacturing solutions, which involve the utilization of collaborative robot technology and automation. Such kind of automation offers significant advantages to small and medium-scale enterprises, from productivity gains to shorter payback periods, which justify long-term investment. Universal Robots was co-founded in 2005 by the company's CTO. The company is part of a larger network of corporations, and it has subsidiaries and regional offices in the US, Spain, Germany, Italy, and Czech Republic. Gujarat poll results considered to be a shock for the BJP, says Rahul. The day after the Gujarat results, Congress President Rahul Gandhi said the polls had delivered the BJP a zabardast chatka, terrific shock that exposed Prime Minister Modi's credibility crisis, prompting BJP to respond to the leader was enjoying defeat as victory. In his first comments on the Gujarat election results, where Congress ran rival BJP goes, Rahul told reporters, "It is a very good result for us, agreed that we lost and could have won, we fell short. But BJP suffered a massive joint in Gujarat. People of Gujarat do not accept Modi's model. It is high on propaganda, but it's hollow." Senior BJP leader and HRD Minister Prakash said Rahul was under an illusion that the Gujarat polls were a jolt to the ruling party. We, BJP, won both states' assemblies elections and in Gujarat for the 6th time. Actually, this is a jolt for the Congress, he said. Javadekar alleged that Congress adopted divisive politics in Gujarat, but people put their faith in Modi and his development agenda. This shows his dynamic arrogance and is an insult to the people's mandate, he said. Speaking to the media in Parliament, Rahul said Modi was claiming the election was contested on the issue of development and was a stamp of approval on GST, but the PM did not mention development or speak of a referendum on GST or demonetization in his election speeches. It has raised a big question about Modi's credibility, and frankly, Modi suffers from a credibility problem. He will find it difficult in future because the country is not listening to what is he saying and what his party is repeating. Gujarat elections has shown this time, and it will become more clear in future, he added. Intensifying his attack, Rahul said the Prime Minister spoke incessantly about corruption, but did not utter a word about the Rafale debt or BJP Chief Amit Shah's son Jay Shah. Why does the Prime Minister not say a word on this? It is an issue of credibility, he claimed. Congress has been burred up by result after BJP slipped from its 2012 tally to 99 seats, while Congress notched its best performance in decades. In an allusion to controversial remarks from Modi, Rahul said Gujarat elections had sent out a message to BJP and the Prime Minister that your anger will not serve any purpose and it will be defeated by love. Reacting sharply to Rahul's remarks, Javadekar said it was Congress which was losing credibility among people, because of which the party was losing election after election. After Monday's victory in Gujarat and Himachal Pradesh, the BJP-led NDA is in office in 19 states. Attributing BJP's success to Modi's development model, Javadekar said it had worked and caught the attention of the people. He also rejected Congress allegations of corruption in the Rafale deal, saying it was very transparent defense procurement, unlike in the Congress regime. This is a government-to-government deal. It It is not Bofors, and there is no other deal over here, he said, referring to the Bofors kickback scandal and the late Italian middleman. A cyclist was killed in New York after rolling underneath tractor trailer in Brooklyn, says the NYPD. A bicyclist is dead after he fell off his bike and rolled underneath the wheels of a tractor trailer at a busy Brooklyn intersection Tuesday afternoon, police said. The cyclist was riding alongside the tractor trailer on Metropolitan Avenue when he lost control and fell off his bike near Grand Avenue, rolling underneath the back wheels of the truck. He was taken to Woodhill Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Truck driver stayed on the scene. Police are continuing to Uber drivers work excessive hours, making the taxi app service a danger to public safety, a union has warned. GMB union told Westminster Magistrate Court it had evidence that Uber encourages and incentivizes its drivers to work long hours. The hearing will determine whether the union can take part in the taxi app's battle to renew its London license. An Uber spokesperson said it would shortly be introducing hours limit for drivers in its app. It said that on average, drivers spend 30 hours a week logged into its app. We take the issue of tired driving seriously, which is why we regularly remind drivers to take rest breaks. Uber added in September, Transport for London deemed Uber unfit to run a taxi service and refused to renew its license. GMB representative Mary Frankena told the court that it wanted Uber to introduce a maximum hour cap for drivers, as well as a limit on how many drivers can operate in one area at the same time. From a public safety point of view, being driven around London by a driver who has worked a 15-hour shift is no better than being driven around by a driver who has not had background checks. Around 2,000 of GMB union members are Uber drivers. In February 2017, the Commons Work and Pensions Select Committee heard evidence from Uber drivers who said they were forced to work long hours to cover their costs, which included the purchase of their cars. In response to the committee's request on driver hours, Uber said last month that over a quarter of its drivers use the app for more than 40 hours a week, and more than 2,000 drivers use the app for more than 60 hours. Transport for London cited public safety and security concerns, including Uber's approach to carrying out background checks on drivers and reporting serious criminal offenses, for its decisions to remove Uber's operating license. Uber's license expired in October, but its drivers can continue to operate in the capital while it pursues an appeal. The Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, has warned that the appeal process could go on for a number of years. Thank you very much for watching. Watch us at www.millenniumtv.org, and do drop us a line at info@millenniumtv.net. This is John Nisar Ahmed signing off from Millennium TV USA. We are bridging communities worldwide.